Hello everyone, this is Ninja DC, joining again for another React video, this time for MLP Season 9, Episode 5. The sort of true Episode 200, even though they don't count that way. Dun, 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 dun. But,
you hear that, Jillian M. Barrow? You got to write the 200th episode.
Congrats, you freaking lations.
Yeah.
But,
Congratulations.
I guess we could all use some pony right now, just because this is a very Stark-heavy, lot of Stark death going around this weekend. So.
I know it.
This is a very emotional time for nerds everywhere.
To be referenced, I have not seen Endgame yet, so I don't think any of us have.
No.
I have not yet.
I have not yet either, but I've heard.
I'm going to be dodging spoilers for one more week.
I know. I've been seeing people in the theaters with their sad faces and everything. Like, that's all the spoiler I need.
Mm-hmm.
I have one, but I'm not going to tell you guys because, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Now my prediction is whoever has the highest actor budget is going to be the ones first to die. Tis the Disney way.
Whoever gets the bigger paycheck gets to die.
Isn't that right, Harrison Ford?
Whoever serves me best, said he, shall earn the rope on the gallows tree.
Wow, okay.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, second.
I'll take it.
But I guess the funny thing is that it is sort of true, especially with Star Wars, because Harrison Ford in the first one, and then Mark Hamill in the next.
But shouldn't Iron Man have been?
Carrie Fisher was kind of unforeseen, you know.
Well, that was unintentional. This thing, the ones that actually they intentionally killed off, and they also apparently aren't going to kill her off because it'll be disrespectful. But they're going to keep her. She's going to be permanent, her character still is alive in the background, which it means they really intended for her to be step up as the Skywalker in the family.
Pretty much.
And then Carrie Fisher died. It's a very oh shit moment.
I know. I was well, this was I bet somebody there was well, this was not in the plan.
We killed off the wrong Skywalker in this film.
Well, that wasn't their fault. That wasn't their fault. That was fate.
Yeah.
Fate is still the cruelest director, cruelest storyteller of all.
But moving on.
Speaking of cruel storytelling.
And here we go with George R. Martin.
Yeah.
But moving on to happier
and Jillian M. Barrow.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's move on to the MLP episode this time, starting with our introductions. Carlos?
Yes.
All right, he's still muted, so he might be busy.
Hey guys, it's Gamil Gator here. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend of love and nerdom.
Yay!
Hey.
All right, next up, Daylover.
Hey everybody, Daylover. Looking forward for a long episode. Frankly, I hope this is going to be more loving and caring than what else I'm going to watch tomorrow. We will see. But I have high hopes for episodes. So yeah, next.
Jenn.
This is an emotional time for nerds everywhere. Many characters will perish by the time this weekend is over. Hello, my name is Jenn, and I offer internet hugs. Understand that your fellow nerd may be going through something. What if his or her or its very favorite character died this weekend? Please have mercy on them. Give them a hug. And for Luna's sake, no spoilers.
No.
Hi, hello everybody. This is your friendly neighborhood Jenn here, ready for MLP.
I might see my character come back just without a head.
Oh. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the best intro I've ever done. I'm so happy.
The internet hugs that should be your catchphrase.
I'll take them all. Give me the internet hugs. I'll take them all.
And next up, second.
Hi there, I'm the second opinion, and from a critic first and a fan second. Well, with so many things coming to their big finale, you know what they say about high hopes.
Because
That
we
did
had
hard
high hopes.
high hopes. Before you crushed it, it had high hopes. It had high apple pie in the sky hopes.
Because they have high hopes for a minute. Wish I knew the words to that real freaking song.
Before you crushed them, they had high hopes. They
Before you
had
crushed them,
high apple pie in the sky hopes. Moving on.
With that said, are y'all ready to begin the episode?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
All right. Everyone press play. Everyone ready?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do it.
Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go. Let's do this.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh,
Derp. Ooh.
Happy. Sonic. Okay.
Oh, classic.
Oh, no. Poor Derby.
She's talking.
Guys, I wasn't there. Can
All
we
right.
start the intro?
Everyone pause. Everyone pause.
Now what?
Go back to 0-0. We have to watch Derpy again. Such a tragedy.
Dang it.
Oh my God, Derpy's talking. Derpy's talking again. What?
All right. Everyone stop and go back to 0-0.
Okay. We're back to 0.
All right, react to that again. Jeez.
Okay.
Looks like this
Alright.
isn't totally unaware that it's the actual episode 200.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe we're going
Alright.
to get our episode 200.
All right. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
All right. You ready, Carlos?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Everyone press
sure.
play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Perfect.
Yay.
Here we go again.
I see
all the
interesting 3D effects.
What?
Yeah.
I see some interesting 3D effects.
So's the injured
Oh, yeah.
male pony.
Derpy's back. Oh, cute little thing.
It's so sad that that's being pushing.
Derpy's
punching back.
I really want to have Derpy like hang out with the ransom Graham character.
Okay.
And she's out.
Oh, no, bye, Derby.
Alright.
Oh, it's from Celestia, maybe?
Nah, she had to put it in your stomach.
I've been conducting a thorough cleaning of the castle,
Mm-hmm.
and I came across a few items of yours in your old room.
Alright.
I thought you might want them back. I didn't even know I'd left anything.
Tomes and a picture frame?
What do you have? Pictures?
Bring things and help me make positive feelings.
Aww.
Reminiscing.
Don't.
Hey.
Oh, God.
And here's my extra credit report. Impediments of using magic in everyday chores.
Oh, God.
Impediments?
Still suture.
I disagree.
Smash magic lock in there? I've been looking for that for years.
Oh. Oh, falling inside their spot.
Hey, Carlos. Some of the audio is leaking through.
Oh.
It's overdue.
Yeah, that's really overdue.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? Who uses a freaking library card anymore? That is
I
old
do.
school right there.
Well, you think they would have sent some kind of message about that?
Yeah.
That is old school right there, using a library card.
Yeah, we still have that. We still have that in our library.
You
Well, I wonder actually-
sometimes you have to when you're in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they might still do it though for like younger kids colleges. I mean, not for the cards for the like high school and all that, because it would be weird to have like a card, like a credit card system.
So
set
this
up
is
for-
the this is the MacGuffin. This is the
Yeah.
MacGuffin. She's returned an overdue library book.
Yeah.
Well, if Courage the Cowardly Dog can make a scary conflict out of it.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Let's say if they have to shave off her mane.
Oh no.
Dang.
No, wait, she'll have to go back to magic kindergarten.
Yeah.
The nightmares.
Past the point of no return. An overdue library book.
Oh, God.
And you never mailed her
Oh,
anything
no.
about it even once.
Look at her. Wait a minute. Look at her mane. Oh my gosh. Is that like a form of what Applejack's going to look like when she's old?
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, what a cute little face.
The You gotta get it for me.
Oh gosh, a squeaky voice.
Mhm. Oh my god!
Wow,
Replay this footage.
Oh my
Lots of
god, that is
reminiscing.
season 1?
Yeah, that's season 1, yeah. Moon Adventure.
Dun dun dun.
Oh,
Oh, there
god!
it was.
This is a mental
Okay,
part
this
two,
could go
isn't it?
stupid pretty quick, so I hope they
Wow.
know what they're doing.
I've heard of callbacks, but that is. I've heard of callbacks, but that is ridiculous.
Okay. This would have been cuter if it wasn't, okay, here we go with Twilight cranked up to 11 again.
Here we go. It's lesson 0 again. It's lesson 0.2.
No, it's lesson 0 Point Flanders.
Point Flanders.
Yeah. And so.
Princess Twilight Sparkle in a library with an overdue book. Oh my god. Equestria's.
Okay.
That library card.
That face photo.
That library card. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna get out of that scene.
Well,
I knew it.
You're making it later by just waiting around.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Yeah.
alright.
Oh, come on, Twilight.
Jumping right around the Canterlot.
It's funny.
Espionage.
That's
Not draw attention at all.
Oh yeah, and like the people can't hear that. It's like, what's all that pow 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 coming through?
Twilight, you're not fooling anybody with that.
Is this a new librarian?
No, yeah, definitely a new librarian.
Yeah, I think it's redesigned. I think it's redesigned because the previous library was shown to be in the castle itself.
Are you serious?
Oh no. You're gonna make a lot of rumor.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Aw.
Reputation. Nice
Hey, look, it's
continuity, like
Maniac.
a maniac.
It's Maniac on the book. Does everybody see that? It's Maniac.
Oh god, you didn't even think about the fines? You monster.
Oh my god, she forgot her wallet too.
Yeah. Oh god.
Hey. Damn.
Wow.
God.
Damn.
It's time for the epic library journey.
The shame.
Boy.
Shame.
Oh, shame.
Shame. Oh, the shame.
Oh, you must got big slap.
Shame.
So what is going to be down there that they need to take care of?
What,
Oh,
how
wow.
could it how could it have that much light speed just in like seconds or minutes?
Yeah, that's.
You know the bit rate is all over the place.
Hey, nostalgia.
Oh.
Are bits going through inflation?
Maybe.
What? Why would? What?
He is an assistant.
Moon dancer.
Sir.
Yes, thank you, Life.
Oh, I guess. I bet Moon Dancer's the one. Oh, never mind.
Oh. Oh my god. This is so awkward and so good.
And now it's going
Not anymore.
down.
Because of the shame.
Reputation
Shame.
tarnished.
Uh-huh.
It's probably because my book was late.
No, she's old.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
Are you serious?
Really?
Wait, Nani.
Okay,
This just seems too exaggerated for words.
yeah.
This is a Jillian Barrow episode, all right.
Uh,
Oh my god.
Okay, that's just ridiculous.
Is this closer or similar to the
Are you
Amendment
serious?
Census
I
concept
no.
that we've seen second?
Yeah.
Because
The lady who writes MLP books for elementary school kids pulling out one of those comments from people trying to empathize with kids 30 years after the fact, who probably didn't empathize with them very well when they were kids.
Well, you can still borrow books.
Or you
though.
could, call in your authority as a princess.
Yeah.
oh, oh,
Oh.
No free literature.
No free literature. Who wouldn't want free literature?
Yeah.
so silver showing.
Dang.
Well, that is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Aye. And the adventure continues.
Mm-hmm. Yay. You're funny. Yeah. Well, they look like they're grandchildren almost of her.
Aye.
Who can? Let me see. Let me see if it
Okay.
turns out that Dusty
Ask the male pony.
that
Yeah.
Dusty actually left and got fired and had to leave in shame because Twilight forgot her book.
A retirement room or
Mm.
Aye. So you closed out with the retirement home.
yeah.
It was bound to happen at some point that we had a retirement.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, I'm familiar with these sorts of places. Yeah, these sorts of like.
Aw.
Okay. Thanks.
That just
for
kind of makes it
act-
sad because see, that's what senior communities are like.
Oh yeah, for kids, like you wouldn't imagine like how tough it is to be.
Wow, that's your
living in
fantasy,
there for
Twilight.
Yeah.
You just passed it.
Bingo with your name.
Twilight, thank God you forgot that book. That was
God,
best change of career I ever could have
What?
asked for.
why is it silent?
Oh, it just went silent. Wait, are you talking about the episode or are you talking
Yeah,
about
the
chat?
episode, like it's like
It
almost
just
like
went-
giving me death stuff.
Yeah, it went quiet for a second.
Yeah, like I was like scared for like, oh wait, is this gonna be the surprise episode about death? that actually tackles with them. Oh, no, that was a GM episode.
Yeah, like,
And we have Apple Rose here.
I thought the episode was going to go dark in 1 second, but no.
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Windsurfing? That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Oh. She's a golden girl.
Yeah, one of the Golden Girls.
You could be right.
Okay,
You could be right.
I
This
will-
could be like the best time of her life.
I will say one thing. Equestria is like elderly care is very top notch because this
Yeah,
is a
that's-
very nicely built location.
Oh, hey! Isn't that one of the ponies from, like, Somnambulance?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Ponies
another
who
one.
know
On
the finer things in life, practicing Tai Chi.
True.
Oh,
there was another
Oh,
one that
if
was
only
in,
I were a
in the
pony
door
and I
thing.
were shipped off to a senior community, this is where I'd want to go.
yeah. Creative artwork, creative art. Is it like sort of like a
Scooby
hologram?
Dooby Doo, where are you?
That actually would be a funny mashup.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, so cute.
Windsurfing in a senior community? Hell yeah.
Twilight
Oh God!
goes high and low and near and far,
is
but
that a
she
porgy?
could not find dusty
Oh, they're wearing
pages.
masks. Never mind.
They found the perfect guy to play Cyrano.
That's true.
Ooh.
There she is.
Wow! Look at how much time has done to
And then the payoff to the Finding Dusty Pages plot happened. She
And we're-
found Dusty Pages. The
She
end.
is jamming.
Yeah, she's definitely matured. More so.
She doesn't sound so happy for that.
Aww.
She's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Boy.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Harrison.
Yeah.
What? Oh. Oh God.
Well, tell her why. It's obviously going to be because you're happy here.
Right. I agree with you, second.
Mm-hmm. This is literally the bee's knees in all forms of like heaven before the twilight.
She doesn't want the Twilight.
Twilight,
Maybe-
she's old.
maybe she
She wants to
will-
retire at some point.
Ah,
God. What have we done? You selected Lois
Let
as
that
fine.
be the final punchline. Yay, we've made everything right, except you still owe 100,000 bits.
mm.
But yeah, how is it like years after the fact and seconds out of this day are multiplying the fine?
It's called interest rate murder. That's what a lot of that fiction likes to do with fines. Or with like interest. Exaggerates it to the point of
Of
murder.
course.
Okay, this is an interesting parody of paintball.
Have yourself some football!
Looks like fun.
It does look like fun.
Oh, Daredevil.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No.
Oh, you did not ruin my life, and I did not say that to you before because
Mhm.
Oh.
Mm. Why?
Oh no.
Okay.
Hmm. Really?
Moral.
Yeah. Yeah, so Twilight needs to learn that too.
You get called it second. Second was
Hey.
right.
Yeah.
Second
Yep.
was right. You called it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of us so called this.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's not in mint condition anymore. The horror.
Oh no.
Oh.
What?
Shock.
Is overrated.
Yeah.
Impossible pursuit.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
should have read that eight seasons ago.
Can't she
He
just
didn't even
teleport it out of the?
read it.
So that's
Oh
usually
God! Don't
the
make
tip.
it.
Not much, yeah.
Oh my God!
Da-da-da-da-da.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We
Oh,
need to
come
be an
on.
example. Come on.
Uh-huh. Mm. Uh-huh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I'm taking a nice lesson.
Wow.
Yay.
You all share this magic with me. Okay,
You're done.
okay, I'm
Done
just looking at the
time.
credits again. I want to see who Tabitha St. Germain plays this time. Why can't why? Ah, there we are. All right, well, who does she play?
Tabitha St. Germain performance. Wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if it was Dusty Pages.
Oh, maybe.
Let's see. All right, she plays First Folio, the librarian pony, the pony customer, and muffins.
Yeah.
They're still too scared to say derpy. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a permanent thing.
Hey, it's one of the one of the Dobsons are in it. Paul Dobson, awesome.
Oh,
He played two roles. He played the old style, and he played this is funny, meathead pony. That's his official name, meathead. That's his official name. We are calling it right
Change
now.
your address.
We're gonna call it now. It's meathead. Perfect. And Kazumi Evans. Oh, I didn't know she was in this. Oh, she's Moon Dancer and a receptionist pony. Cool. It's cool. And of course, Tabitha St. Germain playing 1, 2, 3, 4 roles. Did we expect anything else?
Nope.
That sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, let me just add my little review, and then I got to put off, and I think I got to get off here. This was kind of ridiculous. This was kind of ridiculous, and that's all I got to say about this. Was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
Wow.
I will say this. Yeah, I will say this was like not really ridiculous. I think the word is like there's so much fluff in this episode, but I actually will say the ending felt genuine. Which
the ending was pretty good.
Other than that, though, it's just about the cutest, pointless episode. Totally pointless episode I think we're ever going to see in this show.
It's possible. It's possible, I guess.
I felt this episode would have worked better. I feel like this episode would have worked better if it was like if MLP was in a format of Steven Universe or Star Versus, where it's like half episodes. Because if this would have been just like part of a 12-minute episode, I felt like it actually could have worked as like a 1-minute episode plot. But like there's just so much like unnecessary fluff in this episode that like doesn't really add anything. Like,
the running around multiple times looking for Dusty Books or whatever her name was. I mean, and that is classic Jillian Barrow. She is, I think, pretty clearly drawing inspiration from her MLP chapter book writing with the the spelled out morals that I guess are kind of supposed to empathize with the kids. The writing that's kind of trying to be day in the life that actually would really fit if you picture it in an MLP chapter book. Like Twilight went to every part of the village, to the windsurfing, the food fight, the but she couldn't find what's her name anywhere. Like, okay, yeah, 'cause in the book it's a throwaway paragraph. I mean, it's a transition, but okay. In an episode where you only have 22 minutes, I mean, you can do a cut to imply she's been looking for a while. Like, we don't need to see all these places that are going to have nothing to do with anything. I mean, and you still could have had your cute visuals. It's just like save the very best of the locations you come up with for the scenes that actually matter and make it nothing but those. I mean, heck, like they run back into Dusty Books to do the whole, please come back. No, I don't want to. But why not? Like instead we have to wait a whole nother scene of nothing. They have to find her again, essentially, to determine why not.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, what can I say, Second? You called it. Definitely.
Yeah, Second called it.
You did. Yes, you did. Second knows everything.
What can I say? I see a lot of story beats like this in my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
How these little kid writers think.
But also that was just such ridiculous. But yeah, at the same time, totally totally in character for Twilight to be like to assume the worst and everything. Like, really, is the librarian going to lose her job because of an overdue book?
I was hoping like the library fine was going to be like a lot more, but of course it's only going to be for a month.
I knew it was not going to be that. I knew it wasn't going to be that bad, just because.
Like if you do that in real life, I bet your library fine is going to be a lot.
Okay, well, the second they're building up the payoff with Twilight sweating out how much it's going to be, you know it's not going to be that much, because if it was, as she's doing that, then it wouldn't be a fake out.
Right.
Like if Twilight was like, okay, we've returned the book and everything is right with the world, then they might have said, oh, by the way, you have to pay 100,000 bits or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit better at the end. That would have been a little bit better at the end, so that way there still was some consequence, you know?
Yeah. This feels like there's no consequence with, like, Twilight, unless you count Twilight learning not to be perfect.
And as if that just sounds like a lesson that that I don't know. Does anyone feel like that that perfection that imperfection is okay? Don't you think that that should have been something Twilight should have learned like a long time ago?
I think she learned like nuances of it, not
the actual words of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, you know, even as late as season 3, they were possibly trying to teach her that moral, and then we have Twilight growing into a role as princess moral, and then we had, okay, so what are we gonna do with Twilight's character now? She can't be that like too good a princess, because then she's a Mary Sue. We need to have her get stressed out all the time, so she's like she was before. So like the making it actual development kind of went out the window, I think. And then this like we have, like I said, that sort of writing style of trying to empathize with elementary school kids. Like, oh, don't they see the world as such a bigger place than it is? Or what, just like, yeah, trying to empathize with them 30 years after the fact, which
Right.
can be kind of funny when something like Arthur the Aardvark does it, because they make the extremes that like they kind of get at how when it's a fear for kids, it's a vague fear, like it's almost a punchline, like, well, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what, you can't pay the bus driver? And then they do a nightmare fantasy where he keeps Arthur on the bus for 30 years, still in his now outgrown third grade clothes, and still won't let him leave. But yet this is more like just, dragging Twilight's flanderized lesson zero shtick out of the closet, and like, oh, what are all the things that are going to happen because I did not return this book? And I don't know, for all the hamminess of it, like, I will say there is also something that's kind of cute, because Gillian M. Barrow does seem to honestly believe she's empathizing, and or that, well, honestly, she seems to not be phoning it in on that, or the idea doesn't seem to be to phone it in anyway, but I mean, it comes across as like almost face-palmingly overplayed, because almost for the same reason, because it seems to honestly believe that this is how anyone thinks, and that's kind of condescending to your audience. It carries an air of condescension.
Right.
Honestly, the one thing I will say though is, for a G and Bear episode, this is what I would say is on the better part of our episodes. I mean, there's a lot of fluff, but like the actual main story, if you like edit that out, is actually a pretty decent episode. Just not a full length episode. Like I said, this feels like if there's a 12-minute episode that we just literally cut big sections out of, we could have made a very good, not a great episode, but a good episode, like 12-minute episode out of. But
I mean, well, I don't know. She doesn't exactly have the
best track
highest
record
bar to clear, but I mean, like, something like Fluttershy Leans In, which I guess is one of her prior champions. This is probably on par with that. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. It's like there literally was the episode of things like that's, I guess, the high. That's the when I think of a GM, like her higher marks. That is the episode I think of, because it's a fine episode, and like I feel this is like in the same episode of like it's a fine episode.
As long as it's not Yagi Stacks, I'll be fine.
She didn't write that, did she?
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, like
there's too much edge.
Did Jenn go with her stuff?
Oh, right, Jenn's. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all now.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and give my final thought, and then I'm popping off here.
Yeah.
Not the best episode. This was quite silly. This is quite.
Stop
it! Right, stop that! Stop that! That's silly. It was quite silly, and it was quite silly, and it was fluff. It was quite fluff, but I feel like the lesson here, like, I don't know, Twilight. I don't know. I feel like it should have been an earlier one, but oh well. Doesn't matter. It's over now, and it's quite silly. So that is my thought. So I must pop off here. So thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. See you guys later.
So
all right.
next?
Any other?
So, are you getting your final thoughts over with today?
I didn't think I have anything yet to say, right?
Nothing left to say?
Because, well, you guys have been talking a lot, so yeah.
So yeah, are you wanting to get all of your thoughts out now?
I really liked the episode, though, so I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I'm just liking the silly things and the shenanigans. I think it was nice for Twilight to learn this lesson to not be perfect and stuff like that. Even though, we had nuances of it before, but I think, this is this is necessary for Twilight to get it hammered completely in. But I will agree with you guys with when they finally found Dusty Pacers, they should just have come to the point instead of like dragging it on with like trying to find her again. But it was nice to see the different things that the elderly ponies were going, because I thought it was going to be depressing at one point or dark at one point.
Yeah.
So
And Carlos was
thankfully they
suspecting
didn't.
she died.
Yeah. Like thankfully they didn't go there, but of course they're going to go there, or they're going to do that at some point. But yeah, I don't feel like we're ever going to see that.
Yeah, I didn't think they would go there just because if they haven't gone there for AJ's parents all this time, they're not going to go there with anyone else.
For anyone else, no.
Probably not.
Yeah, but I guess it could have been something else than a library book, but they are in like old times, so like it makes sense for being a library book.
It's kind of
And we
drifted
still
away
have-
from it being quote unquote
still
old
have-
times.
We still have like that library checkout card in our library.
Yeah.
So
I still
was
use
like,
mine.
Yeah, that's a little like weird. I guess like our library is just old school. But you can do things with your mobile phone and stuff like that as well. So yeah. Yes. But I think like it was nice to see Moon Dancer again. It was just sad that we didn't get that much interaction. Thing that I really liked in this episode was Spike. Yeah, I think like he's growing on me actually more nowadays.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like in like old times or in older episodes, I'll be like, this is not fun. But lately, it's been really good Spike episodes.
Hey.
Or good episodes for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think like that's what I had to say.
Yeah. So, as far as really liked it, like, was it great or was it good?
It was good. I wasn't like the best I have seen, but as I said, and I'll say it again, as long as it's not Yaggedy Sax, I'll be good. Like, I will appreciate the episode, and I will, like, I think there were some great shenanigans going around, and I love all of the designs of the elderly pony, and of course seeing Derby, aka Muffins, to call her new name. Seeing her again, that was also nice. Yeah, I always like to see Muffin.
And Jim Barrow, I mean, she dug in. She, I think, wanted to give fans what they wanted, quote unquote. She wanted, but
nice.
even if only on the level of fan service.
Yeah, I don't think like this could count as the 200 episode. No, then the last episode is more deserving of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Alrighty then. Well,
I guess, any other final thoughts?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just simply like a decent episode. Like it's the weakest of the season, but that's totally fine. As long as we don't really get much more examples of like a blandness like this, and we continue on the final stretch with like such interesting things. Like, I mean, even in this week episode, we got a call back to like a bending fences of hooray for my wishes coming true. Take that.
I mean, yeah, like there are writers who have like a track record that they're like bad as much as they're good even, but they are very capable of being good. And like what I think Meriwether Williams took a lot of flack when she was around, and honestly I think she's underrated, but I mean even like at her lowest, you can tell how this is someone who like has the inspiration, the ability to put out a great, or at least a really good episode. Jillian Barrow is one of those writers who seems like she can only really be what she is, that you're going to get. I mean, some of her episodes are going to be better than others, but it's kind of all in the same league. But
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, it seems like she just, I mean, well, just call it the elementary school chapter book formula. She, like, really, like, I think all of her episodes really show that that is her experience, her background, her core to draw from. That, you know, it all really speaks to that. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There is a sweetness and a sincerity to some of what she does, and I mean, I think she, so this episode, like, for as much as I'm gonna do my usual with the calling out padding for being padding and condescending logic, to having the characters pull condescending logic, that, well, okay, no, I'm mixing my terms now. Being condescending by having the characters pull the level of logic that you assume your audience is at, not, like, realizing that's kind of condescending. That, yeah, I'll call that out, but I mean, there is also a level at which she, and honestly, seems to want to sincerely give everybody some sweet reassurance, and I think it, you know, it comes through both in how yeah, you're not just supposed to look at Twilight and be like, oh yeah, that thing I remember happening, I guess, or whatever. Like, you are honestly supposed to feel for her a little bit, and then you are honestly supposed to feel better about her, realizing that it wasn't all that bad, and even that she learned a lesson. So, I don't know. Now that we got the Jillian M. Barrow episode over with, that I think we can look back and say that, yeah, that wasn't so bad. But this was certainly not the
Maybe we'll
in
get
a
more.
season that seems like that so far seems like, okay, we got a Jillian M. Barrow episode over with, but yeah, in a season that seems like it's supposed to, that it wants us to expect more from it, this one carried its weight at least. I think I might give it a B minus.
I actually wanted to give it just a B.
Yeah, I guess it really isn't all in how you say it. You give the nicest B's, and I give the meanest B minuses.
Oh, yes. Well, we have episodes where I've been giving, like, bad lower grades, where you're giving better grades, so yeah.
And you still probably would have been saying to the rest of us, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Oh, I said, like, the only episode that I don't want to watch again.
What?
So, Yakety
Sax, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that's getting a F from me ever, I think. Yeah.
I can think of a couple I like less, but
Well,
like you said, DC.
I was saying the one thing I liked about Yakety Sack is it reminded us what a bad MLP episode was like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was that harkens back the spikes at your service and the spike at your services. I guess
I would rather
phrase
watch
that would
that.
be.
I would rather watch that 100 times than watching Yakety Sax again.
Well, I mean, they both have that, like,
No, it's because
face
of the
palm. Oh, I'm funny.
remember why I can't watch Yakety Sax?
The gross parts.
No, there's no growth.
Oh, the instrument playing tips the scales.
Yes, because of my tinnitus, so that's why.
Okay, but to be fair, that one might not be the episode's fault.
No, I don't care. Like, they could have made it so it was more pleasant. Yeah. No, there's no excuse.
Well, I mean, I feel like when
a
writer or a voice actor or an instrument player gets a a memo.
They could have
It doesn't say remember people with tinnitus.
no, but they should.
Yeah,
They
probably.
don't say like remember people with like that has the 4 blinking lights either in the Rara episode, right?
Why did Rara's thing cause seizures?
I don't know, but it was blinking a lot though.
Well, there you go. I mean, if it isn't brought to their attention, they're not going to take that stuff into account.
That's not. That's it.
I guess with that said, for me, I guess I'm around the same as a B area or B or C. It's just sort of I'm waiting to see how the rest of the season pans out before I would really rate this one like that. But overall, for a GM Bear episode, like I said, it was one of her better ones.
I'm still trying to see what all of her other ones were. Barrow. Let's see if like the wiki seems to have changed their format, so you can't just look that up like you could before. And now I seem to have the wrong Jillian Barrow because she's miscellaneous crew on Law and Order and The Good Wife and Sex in the City and Blue Peter. Oh, well, no, what do you know?
It's over a barrel, not Jean Barrow.
No, it does seem that this is the one they're talking about. Okay, she had the one where Pinkie Pie knows, which is little enough value so that I'm barely over the line of indifferent on it. Fluttershy Leans In, which I think we agree was one of her better ones. Daring Done, which was not.
I like Daring Done.
Daring Done is not bad, I will say, but it's kind of in line with the one where Pinkie Pie knows to me. Like, I thought it was the weakest of season 7.
Probably.
And then Granny's Gone Wild, which I actually kind of like. Like, I might put that on par with this one. And The Endant Friend, okay, I'm pretty sure that's one I don't like, but what one, is it the one I'm thinking of? Which one's that again?
I don't remember
Is
either.
that Discord trying to take over the school or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was one of the ones with Discord because like it is a friend.
And then this one, so yeah, I think like 3 B- episodes are Jillian Barrow's high point.
Well, I guess with that said, see y'all next week.
Yay! Good night, everybody.
Hey. Take care.
So to summarize my thoughts on the episode, I think it was a pretty good slice of life episode. I liked how we got the callbacks to the very first episode, like in Mending Fences. You can even see the difference in the animation because they use the exact same footage from the episode instead of a sort of a remastered version. You can see in the way that Twilight and Spike are moving, the animation looks sort of jagged and not smooth at all. To me, it feels so weird. I liked how we got to see Moondancer again. It seems like they borrowed a lot of the same elements from Mending Fences, except in this case, instead of Twilight going back to fix a problem, she learns to just let things be. So yeah, in this case, it worked out okay. My main issues with the episode were mostly pacing. Just the part where Twilight was searching for Dusty Pages, that kind of dragged on for too long. Like, I felt like the first montage was fine enough, but then they started another one, and I was like, oh god, I have to wait through this sequence again. It's just all filler. You don't have to do it again. Come on. I also didn't like when Twilight was first trying to turn in the book, and the librarian finds out how long it's been out, and she has this over-dramatic reaction where she's all like, oh, now you have to go down to the basement where all the bad ponies go. Shame, Twilight, shame. I mean, like, come on. You're kind of hammering it a little too hard with that. You don't need that. It's so over the top, and it just feels out of place and undeserved. Like, come on. Stop it. Get some help. But yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about this episode. So it's alright. Not gonna give her like an exact rating, because like, I don't do that stuff.